call the meeting of order. This won't be live, it'll be taped. So we'll start with a prayer, followed by the pledge. Heavenly Father, just yesterday we celebrated the country's 246th birthday, and I think we have a great country. You know, things don't go maybe as we planned, but we just pray for the leaders of our country, the federal, the state, Defiance County, and right here in this room. Pray for the people around this table, makes the decisions that's best for our community. Pray for the sick, pray for the lonely. Put it in.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, well, welcome everybody. Roll call, please.
Barth.
Here.
Bassett.
Here.
Beverly.
Here.
Martin.
Here.
Klepper.
Here.
And Egley's absent.
Yeah, before you, regular council meeting minutes for your approval. Any additions, corrections?
Make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
Okay, second.
Sure.
Roll call?
Beverly.
Yeah.
Martin.
Yeah.
Bassett.
Yes.
Barth.
Abstain.
Klepper.
Yes.
Yeah, before you, the bills that need.
That industrial food management, is that what we're doing until we find a new water operator?
Yep. It won't
That's
be.
for 2 months?
It won't be the 3282. It's like 2,800 a month. There was like an additional $300 and some for, I guess, startup costs for them for
Okay.
processing. That was pretty much for the month of June.
Okay.
Make a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
Second.
Roll call?
Barth.
Yes.
Bassett.
Yes.
Beverly.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Klepper.
Yes.
Okay, the Board of Zoning Appeals met June the 29th to discuss a variance application made by Vic Lilly. You have that in front of you. The variance did pass. Any questions on that? Okay. Committee reports, Police Fire Committee met June 13th. Minutes are in the packets. Tony kind of gave an oral report but then the written minutes were in there. Does that look correct?
I'll thank Charlie for typing those up for me too. I appreciate that.
You owe me one.
I owe you one.
I'm
Okay.
sure it's a long meeting too.
Water and Sewer Committee met June the 30th. Minutes are in the packet. Anybody want to comment on that?
It's more of just a general updates meeting. Obviously, all of our providers are seeing cost increases, so we did schedule a meeting with Whirler for July 14th at 4 p.m. With Whirler to discuss their request for pricing increase on our end. But other than that, it's just kind of an update on current projects and obviously potentially upcoming ones with the splash pad and the pool. So.
Okay. Any questions for Taylor or committee? Okay. Any other committee?
The Personnel Committee met tonight. The main reason we met was to talk about part-time holiday pay for employees that are part-time. We decided not to include this in the personnel manual. However, we have talked about possibly shifting the hours of the recycle lot. Usually it's open, Mondays,
Thursdays, and
Thursdays, and Saturdays. So on a day such as yesterday, since it was a Monday, we could shift the hours to maybe Tuesday, so that way the part-time employee could still get paid. file, so they don't miss those hours. So, is that something you guys are okay with, council?
Can you make that work if we decide to? Because most holidays are on Mondays,
Yeah.
the 4th and Memorial Day.
Labor Day?
Oh, yeah.
We'll shift everything else when we have a holiday,
Right.
so we might as well do that.
Yeah.
I'm sure the public will appreciate that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I guess you could make that decision, right? We don't need to vote on it? Don't have to vote on it, okay. It's a recommendation, I guess. Anything else? Any questions for the personnel? Administrator's report.
I don't really have much. Just a quick update for the state route paving that's coming through town. It'll be after August 1st when they hit Defiance County. There's actually 2 phases. Defiance County was the second phase of it. The first phase is US 30 is what they're going to be focusing on. So after August 1st, Defiance County completion date is October 31st for that entire project. Then the valve project, Dangler Excavating, was back in town today, and the valve at the big rock there by going into the pool, that's all excavated and uncovered, and they will be excavating the valve by the football field tomorrow. So hopefully Thursday we will shut down, do the last two valves and backfill and be done.
Deadline for that's the end of this month, isn't it?
July 29th. Yeah. And then Bryan Excavating was in on Friday out to the well field, and they got roughly about 240 foot of the new road cut in. They were supposed to be back today, but now that road is a river, so.
What are they doing with that spoil? Just losing it?
We have a spot as you pull in on that road. We have got a spot picked out on the right-hand side there where they're just dumping it. I wanted it close to that access road, so we have access to that. That's good,
You're not
clean.
putting it in that low spot, are you?
Mhm.
Good, that low spot runs a lot of water when it rains.
That way we have that for what we need it for different projects for
Sure.
the future.
Is that just going to be stone, the road?
Mhm.
Not blacktop or anything, just stone?
Right.
Okay.
A question, Corey, do you know if that's the
It is Gherkin.
bid, okay.
Yep. I mean the state paving? Yeah,
Well,
Gherkin.
they bid through, aren't we through the county?
Mhm.
Yeah.
This here is ODOT is through town here. Ward had the, like Musauergon and all that, that was Ward. But Gherkin's got their hand in everything.
Mhm.
Everybody's buying it, so.
Yeah.
So the water tower on the water sewer maintenance, the water tower bid opening was today.
Yep,
How'd that go?
it went. It's on Troy's desk now.
Okay.
Just
Well,
one.
you could say whatever. No, it came
Oh,
back.
it-
It came back in excess
Of the 10%.
Of the 10%,
Okay.
and it's already been rebid once. So, the law says that it has to be within that 10%. The only exception, and what I was going to look into more, is basically in exigent circumstances or an emergency, for lack of a better term, there is a process you can follow where you don't do competitive bidding. And I know some places, once they've rebid it a couple times and it still comes back more, some places have used that as grounds to, because of upcoming deadlines and things of that nature, in order to justify basically declaring in an ordinance that, you know, there's emergency circumstances or urgent circumstances, and you're gonna waive the competitive bidding requirements and basically negotiate with whomever in order to get it, you know, the problem being is you gotta be able to justify that it's urgent and emergency.
Can't we modify the engineer's estimate?
That would be the other step, basically, would be to reject all bids, which is technically that's what should happen, and then go back to the engineer and say, well, the problem we're gonna keep coming into is the engineer's gonna, unless he just artificially inflates it to try and cover it, you're gonna get in a position where however long they do their estimate, however long you permit bids to come in, I mean, as much as materials are going up, then the people bidding it are bidding on new prices, different than what the engineer, so you almost gotta ask the engineer to anticipate what the cost of the materials are gonna be, how many ever days that they have to bid.
I bid on something, we didn't do the per unit price, but
Yeah.
we took some group things, or the engineer took some
Right.
group things and inflated
Right.
so that it could be bid.
Right.
Do you know roughly percentage? There was only one estimate?
We had two.
We had two, and both were
I mean, I can tell them
the public, yeah.
The first estimate was 1.8. Yeah, the second, the lower one was 1.6, just about 1.7. So,
What was the engineer cost?
4, right?
the engineer's estimate was 1.2.
That was a while back, wasn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think they redone it right before the first of the year.
Yeah.
We did.
Been a lot of changes since then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
I
several
think
months
that's the
ago.
route we ought to take, is just talk.
I mean, like I say, if our sewer plant was down or something and we had a public
Right.
health crisis
Yeah.
or something, yeah, then you do what you need to do and you get the work done and you don't have any problem justifying it. But I think on something like this, I think we'd be trying to shoehorn it in and
Yep.
running the risk of not following the law.
And we won't get called out on it, but.
Yeah. no.
Do any of the, we're fine on our PTI on that, right? That's
Yeah,
like 2025.
PTI is, 2025.
And then there's no deadline on any of that grant money that we have?
Well, I touched base with Cheryl today on what's the OPWC stuff, December of 2023.
Has to be complete?
So that's my rush on it.
The project, the entire project has to be complete for their money?
Mhm.
How much is their money?
It's a total of, what, 499,000? Because right now, if everything would have went as planned, the projected construction completion would have been September 22nd of 2023. So I'm afraid if we go 3 or 4 months on a rebid or something, I mean, we could really use that 3 or 4 months.
Oh, for sure.
Well, if we do a little jack on the price with the engineer, which is quicker, emergency or the engineer?
Depends on your
Quicker-
engineer's schedule.
Quicker doesn't necessarily mean right. Quicker, probably the emergency, because then you know what you want, and you start talking to, who's interested, and you start negotiating with them, and you do it, but the proper way to do it would be what you suggested in rebid.
Well, yeah.
And,
It's tough with 2 bids too. I mean, if you only had 1 bid. I
well,
think
right, then
it's
you could
easier
say,
to
well,
enter into
obviously, you're the only one
negotiations, but yeah.
interested in that area, let's do it, but yeah,
So
since you
here's
got
what we'll
2.
do. Mhm.
So, I would suggest that we reject all bids, and because they're not within the 10% threshold, and then ask them to hopefully quickly redo an up-to-date engineer estimate, get it out for bid.
Is this strictly tower construction, or is there additional water line associated with that project? I mean, can we scale back the project slightly, or is it basically just getting the tower up and that is the scope of the project?
It's water, it's valves, bolts, the whole 9 yards.
I guess what I'm asking is, do you think it's possible to scale back any of that scope and it still be functional to get us down to a closer number?
We scale it down, though, won't the engineer's estimate change then too?
Slightly, but it depends on what you're, I didn't look at the scope. I haven't seen the scope of that project, but there may be a large portion of the project that's ancillary stuff that's not necessary.
What'd you say, Mike?
I said I got the packet back home. You probably have it from Pogemeyer. It's been, I mean, that was years ago we pushed that project through. It's been a while. They did a site search and everything else, but that's something we could ask the engineers if there's any type of scale back. I mean, we were looking at growth with industrial park, housing, all that whole sector of town over there, and then pushing it towards, the whole quadrant, towards 18 too,
Yeah. Well, that project was roughly 400,000 in cash. I don't have that right in front of me.
Which one?
The water tower.
Cash is, yeah, $423,876.
So, yeah, we're looking at $1 million in cash
Did we put anything in
with that overage. So, I mean, I think we need to probably go back to the drawing board on that.
So before myself asking to do it, I mean, they've got some,
Yeah.
we paid them a lot of money.
Well, correct. And, I mean, and then obviously compounding, if we lose that grant, we can't hit those deadlines, that's now 1.5 million ballpark out of our pocket. So that's probably something we need to sit down with Pogemeyers and
If we're getting money for it, yeah.
see what we can figure out.
So what's the next step?
Sounds like reject all bids.
Okay. Okay.
I just checked with him, and I think we should, because we could possibly lose $400 and some thousand, I think we should put it in the new bid, when we bid, completion date that will incorporate your ending on that available fund. It might cost us a little more money, because they might throw the jack under their numbers to compensate for overtime, who knows what. But if we don't, and they run another 6 months over, we've lost that money, right? I mean, we're gonna have to find a way to come up with it ourselves.
There's no way to get an extension on that grant.
Possibly, I mean, I've never had to write a letter or call them and ask them.
Kent's got one before.
Huh?
Kent's got an extension before.
But the
It's OPWC.
the extension might take longer than,
I don't think it hurts to
Not
ask,
the-
oh, no, it doesn't take long enough, yeah, you're right.
but I still think we should.
I think that needs to be in the next bid packet, is
There's a completion date has to be.
whatever it takes to match your date of 23, something in 23.
Which is originally, the bid, it was September of 2023, and our grant money, states December of 2023, so
That gives us a few.
they had
months extra.
some,
Yeah,
a few
The only
months.
thing you can, I don't know, make some type of a plea to whoever the grant came from, that, we've got till 2025 to actually complete it. Is there any way you can help us out and restore this grant? I mean, beg, plead, do whatever you have to do, as long as it's legal.
Okay, we got a plan, sounds like. Let's see, anything else for Corey?
I don't have to have.
Water superintendent?
It's a second
Any
reading.
applications or anything?
There's, somebody will be coming in tomorrow. I don't want to say where he's from, but
Yeah, that's fine.
he wanted to come and talk about it tomorrow.
Okay.
Any other questions for administrator? Okay, solicitors report. Troy, you're up.
I got it. Too many papers. The first thing I have is ordinance 2022-07, a second reading by caption only, an ordinance authorizing the village fiscal officer to transfer funds. And she indicates to me it does not have to be passed as an emergency.
Second reading.
That's a second reading.
Yeah, good. That's what I said.
And then the first reading of ordinance 2022-08, an ordinance to amend the annual appropriations ordinance. Does that need to be?
Yeah, because that is, Corey had paving done, and he's paying for it out of the permissive tax.
What do you want to do?
Make,
As an
suspend the
emergency.
rules.
Second.
Roll call.
Wait,
No, you're doing on the
Kent's-
first one. On the 22-7?
08.
808.
Okay,
Okay, gotcha.
your second.
Did you do a roll call yet?
No. Barth,
Yes.
Bassett,
Yes.
Beverly,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Flipper.
Yes.
So then second, third readings of ordinance 2022-08 by caption only, an ordinance to amend the annual appropriations ordinance and declaring an emergency.
So move.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Clipper,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Beverly.
Question, well, this is only to allow us to sell this when we sell the other property?
Or that's.
We're not.
We're not
there yet.
We're still on this one.
08, 2208.
2208.
Yeah.
It's got a box at the top.
We really got
Yeah.
mechanic
Bassett,
Yes.
Burke.
Yeah. So I was
right.
helping Ron, I'm sorry.
Did I miss anybody?
That'll keep you busy.
Okay, go ahead, Troy.
Okay.
Pass,
We're
yeah.
done with that one passed. Then Resolution 20-22, or 2022-07, first reading by caption only, a resolution of the Village of Hicksville, Ohio to sell Lot 55 at Edgerton's first addition to the Village of Hicksville. Your question?
That this is to allow it to be sold with the other 20 acres
No, that's the north, that's the one on the corner down there.
of Maine and
Maine
Arthur.
and Arthur.
We were gonna sell that with
Doesn't have to be, but could be.
the, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that's kind of what we talked about.
Yeah, if you guys talked about that, it
They can run through the same auction.
Yeah, they could.
Parcels. This is just a, yeah.
That's just to say that it's not necessary and to authorize it. That's
stay
right,
up on
that's
this.
right, that's right.
Okay.
So I think we already passed this ordinance last year.
For this property?
We talked about it, but we never legally did it.
Okay, I was thinking we had passed an ordinance
Yeah,
last year
not
to
legally.
approve the sale of that last year.
Okay, anything else, Troy?
We were originally were scheduled to get an update from Erica at Economic
I talked to her
Development.
this morning.
And she sent me an email today, and they're shooting for our
The
next
8th.
meeting,
Yeah, she was on the agenda
the second.
the 18th.
18th.
Yeah.
So,
So
and
I
I've
was
been in
gonna tell Cheryl,
communication
so-
with her and with developers and attorneys and stuff, and putting together an agreement that, I know she asked them if they would have it to me sometime before that meeting, so that some productive review could be done of it before that meeting, so that's moving along.
It's moving.
Yeah, it's moving along.
Okay. Any questions?
I did, but I'm trying to remember about how to enact it and stuff like
One
that.
of the requirements in order to do so.
Yeah, I'll send you an email. I know I got the research saved on my computer, because I looked, I'll send you an email on it tomorrow.
You mind
Thank you.
copying me on that?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, I do mind.
He said, no, you don't mind.
I don't mind.
I can
Change your
forward it
answer?
to you.
Okay. He's got mine.
And Taylor, I just sent you an email about.
I did see that. Yep, thank you.
Yep.
Anything else for our solicitor? Okay, department heads, police chief.
Old people takes a while to get them up. doesn't it?
Yes, it does. So, obviously, the last council meeting, you guys discussed the lieutenant's position that I want to hire for. I've talked to Cheryl. I think our financing we should be all right to do it. Is that right, Cheryl, for this year? So, I'd like to ask for permission to go ahead and move forward with that at the rate that was discussed, so.
Can you just, I obviously wasn't in I guess the police meeting before. I'm just kind of curious, what is the role of the lieutenant, and how does he fit in the current force?
Well, there's a lieutenant's position, it's open. So the lieutenant's position, I'm looking into bringing in more experience. All right, he would take some of the stuff off of me too. He might be in charge of investigations.
So all stuff that's currently on your plate,
What's that?
the lieutenant's position, all of that position's duties are currently on your plate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so he would be in charge, basically what I would do is take some of the responsibility from Sergeant Doctor, and where he can focus more over the road stuff, so the lieutenant would take over policies, monitoring the policies, making sure they're always updated, and we stay updated in the training, so.
You took all this through the police and fire committee meeting, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys okayed it?
Yeah. It was,
I wasn't there, I was just asking for a general overview, just so I
Well,
understand.
the biggest thing,
our main concern was the finance.
You
So-
got that, so you,
So,
I already say, are we good for this year? So that's, I mean, future years are good too. I mean,
So,
would
yeah.
that individual be, what shift or hours? I mean, would they be overlapping hours or?
I haven't decided what they're gonna do yet. So, they might be on the same shift I am, or different, days here and there might be different, so.
So that, well, yeah, I guess that, on that question, I was curious since, because Officer Franz was on the road 100% of the time, correct?
Yes.
So Sergeant Doctor would be taking over some of that?
Yeah, he'll be in charge over the road.
Yeah, okay.
So he'll be in charge of all the officers, all right? And the lieutenant will be doing patrol too, but he'll also take over more responsibilities.
administrative.
Administrative
Yeah,
responsibility.
it was- From what we heard, it was the administrative burden that he could really help with.
Yeah.
And be an asset to
So-
the force.
But as far as over-the-road scheduling and things, as far as coverage, I guess, goes on the road, you would fill that between the lieutenant and sergeant doctor as far as scheduling?
Yeah, we'll have it covered.
Okay, any other questions for the
Trying to
chief?
find somebody with experience like that we talked about, at that lieutenant
Yes.
level already,
That's
or,
one of the main reasons, trying to bring more people in with experience. And I gotta find a reason or some way to keep people. Then,
retention is everybody's problem right now.
Yeah.
Always has been.
I know that, but it's a pain. It's,
Well, I guess just give it to Bob and we'll go on.
I can't use, I gotta find something, some common ground somewhere to keep these people.
It's probably
They're
not-
all young, that's,
It's probably not common for them to sign any sort of contract when they're upon hire.
no,
No.
You have somebody interested in this position?
no,
No.
I do not. So I may not get anybody, we may just be hiring an officer.
but you gotta try. I mean,
Yeah.
you gotta put the feelers out there and see if anybody's out there.
Good luck to you, chief.
Okay.
Where did you say the other academy was besides Northwest State that you said that?
Vantage has one.
Okay, because I can reach out to them too and see if we can,
Well, I have, actually, one of my part-time officers is familiar with that academy because he teaches over there.
oh, okay.
So, so that would be an issue there, so.
Having full-blown, I'm gonna switch topics, full-blown fireworks this weekend, I mean, they were allowed to shoot off more, was there any issues in town? And heard bigger booms going
I
off.
was off today and I didn't look through, I just know we had a comment over on our Facebook page and we're happy with it, but, I don't think
Anything going on here?
there was any issues. They didn't call me about any issues. They had talked to me before, Yeah, as far as I know, we didn't have
Okay, thanks.
any. She'll send out, you saw the cases of calls from the So obviously you can see, the month of June was, very busy. So.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks,
Thanks,
chief.
Chief.
Thank you.
Fire and EMS.
We're trying to set up a first responder class here in Hicksville. I do have two on the fire department interested in taking it. When they originally applied, they wanted to do both fire and EMS. With this timing coming up, they haven't started their fire class yet. It will start in September. This hopefully will be out before they start the fire class. And it's Felix Salinas and Rebecca Summers. And then Mariah Salinas has taken the course already, but didn't pass her national registry. We'd like to put her through the course again, so she can retake, she took too long in taking her national, that it wasn't fresh in her mind. So we'd like to put her through it again also. And then have two from outside that I'd like recommendation to join the EMS in order to take the class, and that's Timothy Wells and Cameron Bayansky.
I'll recommend those two, I guess, gentlemen, right?
Yeah.
Cameron and Timothy Wells and Cameron Bianski.
I'll make the motion of the mayor's recommendation.
Second. Roll call.
Beverly,
Yes.
Flipper,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Bassett,
Yes.
Barth.
Yes.
And also interviewed to fill a part-time position on EMS, and I'd like a recommendation to hire Logan Freisner. He's from Grover Hill at this time. He's be interested in moving here, but for right now,
Is this part-time like our full-time guys, but he's part-time?
Yeah.
He's paid.
paid to be here.
Mhm.
He'll be here. It'll be every other weekend and probably 1 or 2 evenings through the week.
Wow, that's good.
And this will allow the scheduling to kind of back some hours down on the
It'll
other
ease
guys.
up some of the others, yeah.
How many years does he have experience right now?
He does. He's already certified. He's got a couple years' experience.
Is he a 1 or 2 or?
He's a basic EMT.
Okay.
Any other questions for Scott? Okay, I'll recommend that we hire Logan Friesner. Roll call.
Barth,
Yes.
Bassett,
Yes.
Beverly,
Yep.
Martin,
Yes.
Flipper.
Yes.
And these new hires will be pending background checks, physical and drug screen as always.
Okay.
I do have 2 people I'm sending to a class to do our vehicle drivers training that we have to do annually. That are going to be going at the end of July over at Swanton. And I do have,
Who are those?
those are Cody Sanders and Drew Ward. And we do have an applicant for the fire department that's in the works, that's already certified as a firefighter 2. That once we get through all our stuff, it'll be.
I like these kind of reports, Scott.
Yeah. So, this is good.
I think we just hit the lottery, I don't know. So it's looking up.
Good.
Okay, any other questions for Scott? Okay.
Travis Stratton and I are finishing up our firefighter 2 class. A couple weeks we have a live burn in Paulding County. And then some wrapping up on class work and take the test, so
Good luck.
thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, Park Director, I don't see anybody here. Corey, anything you want to report on Park? They have trouble with the pool or not? Is it going well?
The pool did spring a leak, I think we talked about in the water sewer meeting. But Gary Shaw was able to put some patches down in the pool. which,
On the liner?
Yep, on the liner.
Wow.
He was able to score some patches and ended up,
That's the one that sent some little kid down there to.
yeah, their grandson, yeah.
Yeah,
I
okay.
think was losing about 9 inches of water a day.
Yeah.
9 inches?
There's, Val reported on that, yeah. Yeah, that's a
And
great
it's-
deal.
So far, it's holding well.
Good.
Well, I'd say I got to see that pool without the water in it, and there is patches everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
It is patched up. You know,
Okay.
Plus some of the piping's old. Everything's old, I'm just saying.
Put a brick on it.
I took my pump to help him one day
Keep him
to
down while he's
pump
working.
water.
Okay. Fiscal Officer, Cheryl.
You have your usual reports, if you have any questions about them. Mayor's Court, it was prior to today's, which was we got a lot of the income tax people in. The income tax report, Kim reminded you that last year we weren't due till July. That's why our numbers look so bad. People waited till July to do their taxes. And you have the utility collections, and I have 2 other things that are not on there. The park contract is rolling over, just to let you know, and I've already sent it to Troy, and he's fine with it. I forgot what the other one was. Oh, that's the PA contract the mayor has signed,
Park contract.
What's a park contract?
where they pay us once a year to mow and
Oh, from the county,
things.
the county.
And they use some of the concession stand, or I don't know, there's a list that's
The county
attached.
property.
Right.
Agreement.
And so we have an agreement with them, and they pay $12.50 a year. So I have to send it to them in August, that's why.
That hasn't raised in,
40 years.
it's been, and they're meeting in August. I've been talking to them about, the softball fields and working with, John Adam and some people and the park board, and it's been the same forever. There's never been any increase. They've been very giving when we need to do something like the fencing. We have to ask permission to do anything on their property.
No,
It's
this
been-
is with the school.
Oh, the school contract?
Yeah.
I thought you said the county.
No.
I'm sorry. I'll shut up.
No, school.
Well, school's the same boat, been the same money forever.
I will say for being that I work for the school, and I know for like the baseball diamond itself, I mean, they put all new bleachers in last year. They put an all new fence in a couple years before that. And that was $40,000, I think, for the bleachers, and about $40,000 for the all new fencing and everything around there too. So I know they dumped about $80,000 on the baseball, and they helped pay for part of the softball. And then every year they add turfus to all the fields, and the school pays for all that and the labor for doing that. So I do know they do donate a lot of money towards them. So
Where does the school get that money?
same taxpayers as us.
Okay. Is that it, Cheryl?
That's it.
Any questions? Okay. Mayor's report. I only have a couple things. The Huber Concert Series is this Thursday at 7. Bring your lawn chairs. Is Rotary having food?
No, it's too hot.
Too hot.
I don't cook that heat. It's-
Okay.
Sorry.
So,
I don't blame
Hey,
you.
we'll have
Eat before you
bread,
come, but-
we'll be out there.
There will be.
We'll be out there.
does have popcorn, candy bars, so
Hot dogs?
And we're doing we'll have hot dogs, yep, burgers.
Are you having chili sauce?
I'll bring chili. If you're gonna be there, I'll bring you chili sauce.
I don't know, it's supposed to be hot.
yeah. So anyway, Jerome Schooley is the performer. I think it's just one person, right?
Yep.
He sings. You don't have a band, so that's who.
He is-
The other person canceled a couple days ago, and so Jerome stepped up, so thanks for that. The time capsule, we talked about that at the last meeting. The next day it got opened, right? Was that the next day, Corey? It's in Cheryl's office,
What year is it from?
65. So if
They
anybody
put it
wants
in when
to.
this building was built, when it was dedicated.
Anything hidden there?
It's all from 1965.
Gold bars.
There's money.
Gold bar.
There's money in there. Newspapers.
Front page spread.
Magazines,
Yeah, we actually,
newspapers.
okay.
There's a letter
But
from
yeah,
the
we have a
mayor.
Quick story on it, took pictures.
pictures.
Who was the mayor then?
Letters, Bob, yeah,
Bob? Okay.
letters and.
Nice letter. No, I read part of it.
Chamber.
The Crescent's looking at it. Like we're going to do a story on it.
Big silver
So-
coins.
We'll leave it open for a while, and then, I don't know, what.
Is it silver?
They're Kennedy half.
That's the one I lost.
What year
Now we
was
know
it?
where now we know where you
I
lost.
think you donated it.
That was 1965, right?
I don't know. I see him say
They put
night.
it in there.
Oh, he put it in there.
That year.
You didn't have a silver piece in 1960.
Yes, I did. When I lived on Smith Street as a child, I used to mow
There you
and
go.
shovel snow and everything. And Jessie Cromley, that lived 3 houses over, she used to pay me, everything I did, she'd just give me $1, a silver dollar.
Nice.
I don't care if I raked her grass, mowed her grass, painted her house. I could have $300 in the deal. She'd give me a silver dollar. Every time.
For executive session.
Know your worth.
I just mentioned, I know the Little League Baseball Association put on a heck of a tournament this weekend. There's teams, I think there's 35 teams from all over Northwest Ohio, Northeast Indiana, and I think everything went pretty well. Well attended, I know.
Good.
I know the EMS had to respond. I appreciate a quick response time there. Police officers too. So I think everything turned out okay. But
It was really neat. There were
job well done.
people picnicking and tents up all over by the pavilion, and it was cool. They did a good job.
Well, I want to brag then. My grandson he plays travel ball, and his team currently is 25th, the top 25 of the continental United States.
Very cool.
So it's a Hicksville team, and he's on.
No, there's kids from
The team is made up from a guy in Archibald that pays for everything. Hunter Miller and Jaden Beverly are the two from Hicksville that are on.
Okay. Good.
Just kids from everywhere.
They're still playing?
They got 4 more games to go.
Keep us informed.
Currently, they're 25th in the nation.
So you wanted executive session?
Yes, I'd like to have an executive session to discuss.
Corey wants something.
Oh,
Just before we go into that, Joel from Sewer Plants down here, in case anybody has any questions. So we try to bring him in at least once a month. So if you guys have any questions about what's going on down there.
appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Everything
You
going
still
well?
Yeah, You still making progress?
Yeah,
Good.
got our first bank of bulbs in.
Okay.
Last week, we gutted everything, went through it. Found more issues, so have to work some more parts. But that's all up and running. Finished the study on alum, switching over from ferrochloride to aluminum sulfate for phosphorus reduction. That went well, and it's half the cost of ferric. So we should be saving some money long term with that.
What about the gallons that go through that plant a day? And I'm not making jest of Corey, but I thought his number was way too high when he told us the other day. What are you saying, gallons go through that plant a day?
Well, as of right now, besides the rain we had last night, we made it all the way down to about 360,000.
Yes,
So,
yes.
But, I mean, it's been dry for two weeks.
Exactly.
So, but
We needed the rain just to kind of flush out some of our
it's-
tile.
Right now, year-to-date, we're around 1.1, right in there, average, and that's pretty good for that plant. It runs really well, that right there.
Mhm.
So, just keep on with the EPA schedule, keep the removal going. We'll make progress, of course, yeah.
But those lower numbers, I mean, even though it hadn't rained, that's got to look good as far as the improvements that we've made.
Just, being here, I mean, just being here 2 months, I really can't say.
Yeah, I understand.
Sure.
Sure, right.
Any I&I we can take out of the system, or any CSOs we can take out, is gonna make a substantial difference.
Yep.
So, what we don't know is the ongoing, like, let's just say there's repairs we need to make in the sewer system, not of the not of the storm.
Mhm,
So,
mhm.
that could play a part in ongoing, issues with the incoming water, so.
Well, I see you out and about and keeping busy and I can't set my clock by when you're at the marathon and when you're at the BP. I can do that with some, but not anymore. You're doing a great job. And
Yeah.
Speaking of BP real quick, obviously shifting topics again, can we do something about all the weeds right in the center of town? Is that something that we could take a look at?
those raccoons that look out the hole of the roof, instead of them sitting up there waving when you go by, maybe they come down and pull them.
Those raccoons have been there for a while, the weeds obviously have not, but I think that's something that the nuisance board or somebody should take a look at.
Shell station and that one both.
Yep.
I think there was a couple guys in a trailer and a truck and everything that were going in and out of the BP. I don't know what they were doing.
Were they? Be nice to see some progress. Does anybody have any updates on that project? Anybody heard
I
anything?
met the guy when he first bought it, and he had big plans, but I think he's having trouble we want to replace the tanks and getting new tanks.
If it sits idle for, and at that time has surpassed, I think you can have to replace the tanks.
I haven't noticed the weeds. Was it you that said? I can have Mike get them.
Several places around town that's got weeds, not just that place.
Oh,
Like I
yeah.
said, I think we just need to kind of restructure, like you and I talked about how we go about tall grass and weeds and properties.
And even finding them, locating them, knowing about them. Hard to find out anything when you're just sitting in that little room.
I'm not sure, I guess, which committee that would fall under, but as far as, putting together something as far as, because we've talked about restructuring like mowing positions and how the park's handled. Obviously, we're getting to the point where we're a couple months away from starting the budgeting process. So it might be something that whether it's personnel or whomever, I guess, I don't know. But it probably ought to start thinking about having some of these conversations for budget next year.
Doing some changing now.
Or at
Don't
least-
do any good to change after the season's over.
Correct. So,
Well, I mean, looks like a personnel thing, doesn't it?
Sounds like it.
Yeah, I'll schedule a meeting.
And you're on that? And
Yeah, sure, sure.
Yep.
And you two, was all three of us when we talked about that the last time? So you know what you gotta talk about.
yep.
So you want to go into executive session?
Discuss possible land acquisition. Possibly getting some land up in there and fixing up part of that.
Okay. Second?
How's that, Cheryl?
I'll second that.
Roll call.
So land sale and land acquisition?
I'm
So-
still trying to see which one is the legal thing.
Both of them are legal.
I actually made a copy for you, but I forgot to bring it. Barth,
Yeah.
Bassett,
Yes.
Beverly,
Yes, ma'am.
Clipper,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Okay.